The second time against the Philistines, God says, don't go up, but set an ambush behind them. Now, what is an ambush? How do I know to get up? How do I know when it's time to rise? How did the men know it was time to rise in Joshua's day? He stretched out his spear. How was David and his men to know how to rise this time? When they hear the sound in the mulberry trees. It says, then the Lord has went out before you. Now you to bestir yourself and come on out. So notice, there was always a sign when the ambushment should rise up. Are we there? All right, you're almost there. It ain't going to take you long now. 2 Chronicles 20. First thing I want to define for you before we start reading in 2 Chronicles 20 is the word ambush. Ambush. You can write this down if you're taking notes. If you're not taking notes, you can get the DVD or the CD after service, right from the media room. The word ambush, listen to it carefully. It is an arrangement of soldiers or other persons in hiding to make a surprise attack. It is an arrangement of soldiers or other persons in hiding to make a surprise attack. Meaning, it's an arrangement of soldiers or people that's hiding. And they're hiding, but they're ready. Isn't that what Joshua told the men? Be all y'all ready. Ready for what? To make a surprise attack. Well, how do I know, or how does this ambushment know to make this surprise attack? In Joshua's day, how did they know? Stretch out your spear. Come on, go with me here. In David's day, how did they know? They heard the sound. In Joshua's day, how did they know? Stretch out the spear. In David's day, how did they know? The sound. All right. 2 Chronicles 20. Everybody say, make over in my praise. It says in verse number 1 of 2 Chronicles chapter number 20, it says, it came to pass after this also that the children of Moab and the children of Ammon, and with them other beside, the Ammonites, came against Jehoshaphat. Verse 3, and Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord and proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah. Jehoshaphat prays a prayer. I'm not going to go through all the prayer with you, but he prays a prayer. And he says in verse 11, behold, I say how they reward us. See, we left Ammon, the Ammonites and the Moabites alive, and Mount Seir alive. And this is how they repay us, to come to cast us out of thy possessions, which thou hast given us to inherit. Verse 12 says, O our God, wilt thou not judge them? For we have no might against this great company that cometh against us, neither know we what to do, but our eyes are upon thee. Now, some of you sitting out in this audience today find yourself in a similar situation, just like Jehoshaphat and the children of Israel. Some things are pending against you right now. Some things are pressing against you right now. I don't care what his relationships. I don't care what his financial dilemma. I don't care what his bills. I don't care what it is. But some of you have pressing matters right now in your life. And like Jehoshaphat, those matters got you fearful and afraid. But guess what Jehoshaphat did? Here's a pattern. It says that what they did, they went to church. He gathered everybody at church. And he prayed. And he fasted. Now, in verse 13, notice what it says. And all Judah stood before the Lord with their little ones, their wives, and their children. Now, it says something here that everybody went to church because of the matter. And in verse 14 it says, then upon Jehaziel, the son of Zechariah, the son of Benaniah, the son of Jeiel, the son of Mathaniah, a Levite of the sons of Asaph, came the Spirit of the Lord in the midst of the congregation. And he said, listen, hearken all Judah and you inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou King Jehoshaphat, thus saith the Lord unto you. He says, be not afraid nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's. Now, whatever you're going through right now, the battle's not yours. The battle's God. Now, you know, I kind of painted a picture this morning in the early session. And let me see, can I paint this picture for you, real quick here. Because you have three nations, Ammonites, the Moabites, and you have Mount Seir. And they're coming against this one nation, 3 against 1. That's good odds, right? Most of the time, that one is going to lose because, you got 3 coming against 1. If Brother Bev, come here, Brother Bev, he's going to get in the fight, and you got somebody like Brother Bob, him, and then you got Amadei, and then you got, come here, Hawkins, Thomas, so, the odds, they say Bev is in trouble. The odds are stacked against him because you got 3, coming against 1. You got 6 hands against 2 hands. You got, 3 heads against 1 head. So the odds are stacked against him. So you got to understand the odds are stacked against Israel. Thank you all very much. Just like this morning, the odds are stacked against some of you. The odds are stacked against you. And, just in our day vernacular, can you imagine what CNN would be reporting and what Fox News would be reporting? They have their cameras over in the Ammonites camp, and they're, saying this, this army, this mighty army, 3 nations have come together, and they're attacking this one nation. And then, all of a sudden, the report shifts over to the Israelite camp, and the Israelites are in church. They said, well, this is going to be a beatdown, a massive beatdown, because this army over here, is 3 times as big as this army over here, and this army's got the nerve to be in church. So can you imagine what the Sun Herald will be writing, and the Times-Picayune and the Seacoast, their headlines? Can you imagine the news breaks that will be coming out, a news alert? These 3 armies are making progress toward this one nation, and it's just a matter of time before they annihilate the Israelites. That's the latest news alert. But then, the news alert over in Israel's camp is these folk are afraid and they're in church. So the point of view that they've put out to the whole nation and the nations of the earth is that you got 3 nations against this one nation, and it's not going to be long before this one nation is totally destroyed. But here's the thing. This one nation over here has a different point of view than all the other nations. Because the Spirit of the Lord have come upon one of the men of God in the service and says, be not afraid nor dismayed. Oh, God. Because you won't have to fight in this battle. Because the battle is not yours, but the battle is the Lord's. See, so now you got, all the world got a different opinion and a different point of view than Israel. Israel's point of view is that, hey, we ain't going to have to fight no way. God's going to fight this battle. But all the world, through CNN and through Fox Network and through the Time-Picayune and through the Sun Herald and through the Wall Street Journal, amen, they say it's just a matter of time that Israel be annihilated. Y'all with us there? I got y'all on the battlefield. All right. And now Israel has this word from the Lord. And then, look in verse 20. In verse 20 it says, and they arose in the morning. This is the Israelites. They arose in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat, who is the king, stood and said, hear, O Judah, and you inhabitants of Jerusalem. I don't want y'all to forget this. Believe in the Lord your God. And what is the promise? You're going to be established. Believe. The word believe there means to trust. It means to put your confidence